Good grief. Why do they never go in for me? Hello everybody, yes, I'm back again with another episode in my top 100 favourite records. I thought I'd quickly bang out another video of these. I've listened to all of these again and it's been, as usual, it's been an absolute joy hearing these again. I do listen to all of my favourite albums pretty regularly, well, as regularly as I can make it, but just to actually specifically go and get these albums out and actually listen to them is a treat, to be honest. So, right. So I think we're up to number 90. Yeah, number 90. So number 90, I don't actually own a copy of. Now, you might think it's strange. How can you have an album in your top 100 that you don't actually have a copy of? Well, there's a reason for that. So the only copy I've actually got is this taped copy that I made in the autumn of 1987 when I first went to university. A guy at university played me this album and I was gobsmacked. So the album is 1987, What the F's Going On? The Justified Ancients of Moo Moo. It's KLF. This is their first release, well, their first album release. I'll put a picture up there, hopefully, of the album cover. And basically you can't get hold of it because ABBA objected to some of the samples used on it. And the Jams couldn't get their permission. So basically all copies that were unsold were recalled and destroyed. And now they go for a pretty penny. And I'm not going to buy a bootleg of it, because I've got my own bootleg here. Justified Ancient of Moo Moo, 1987. Why have I chosen this? It's an amateurish mashup of pilfered material, basically. But it opened my eyes to hip-hop in a way that no other record really had up at that point, I guess. Hip-hop, I liked the stuff that got in the charts. But I've never really listened to it properly until probably this album. Just to prove, I don't know if you can see it there. It's got a copy of the White Room on the other side. Was that upside down? I don't know. I just thought this was absolute riot, this album. It's like, it's more punk than most punk albums. Somebody's like Bill Drummond and Jimmy Cauty went into, basically got hold of an Apple II computer, a shed load of samples and just made some music. They just stole from everywhere. There's about 2 minutes of an edited version of Top the Pops on this album. I just think it's so much fun. I still love listening to it. And I think the way they use samples was really inventive. I think they actually influenced quite a lot of bands that I ended up liking, especially the Poppies and a lot of other bands. I think they actually really did influence a lot of bands with this album. It's an absolute mess, but it's kind of got, I don't know, so many memories wrapped up in with it that I just can't help but love it, and I still laugh at bits of it. So at number 90, Justified Ancients of Moo Moo, 1987. Right, number 89. I've got another album that reminds me of a certain period of time. So number 89 is Beastie Boys, Ill Communication, which I've only got on CD, unfortunately. I'd love to get a vinyl copy of all of these top 100, but unfortunately funds don't allow that. So I first heard this album when I was travelling around Southeast Asia in 1995. So I think it came out in 94. But I knew about Sabotage. Sabotage was a massive song, and it's an amazing, brilliant alt-rock classic. It is the only song I suppose there's a couple of other punk songs on here, but when I was wandering around Southeast Asia with this on a Walkman, on a tape, which is long gone now, it just fitted. It was like, it's a riotous collision of punk, hip-hop, Eastern influences, like Eastern spiritual influences. There's a lot of them instrumentals sound like they come from Asia, so it kind of fitted in with where I was listening to it. It's just such a lot of fun to listen to. A lot of my favourite albums are fun to listen to. Otherwise I wouldn't listen to them, to be honest. Things like Sure Shot, fantastic. B-Boys, Making with the Freak Freak, Root Down, Sabotage of course. But then you've got the back end of the album is quite instrumental, especially things like Shambhala, Bodhisattva Vow, Transitions. Flute Loop is great. I absolutely love this album from start to finish. A lot of people reckon it's not so good on the back end of it, but I like this more than I like Check Your Head or Paul's Boutique. I've tried to get into them, but I just can't as much as this one. This is the one for me. Absolutely adore it, and it's another album which has got a lot of variety on it. So you've got the punk, you've got the hip hop, you've got the funk, you've got Money Mark is absolutely brilliant on this. So yeah, number 89, Ill Communication by Beastie Boys. Right, number 88 is the first grunge album I ever heard. Well, it's not really an album, it's a mini album. You probably already know which one I'm talking about, maybe, if you're into grunge. So, this is, hang on, let's put it over that way. This is Super Fuzz Big Muff by Mudhoney. So, grunge was like heaven sent to me. Absolutely heaven sent. I loved sort of Sabbath and Zeppelin and all that heavy stuff, but I also loved sort of punk stuff a lot. And you had the Stooges, and to me, grunge was a glorious amalgamation of punk and heavy metal. That early 70s Sabbathy type of sludgy stuff. I mean, more bands became, took different elements of it on, and to a greater or lesser extent, and some were more poppy-ish, some had, different elements to them, but Mudhoney were just pure Stooges, mixed with a bit of Sabbath, with a lot of punk. Glorious stuff, though. This is the European pressing, or an original European pressing. I bought this probably, I think early 89 I got this. So this was released in 1988. And I played this over and over again. So for me, this was one of those moments where you suddenly realise, oh, wow, this is amazing. It's got Touch Me, I'm Sick on it, because it's the European edition on Glitterhouse. It's actually 6 tracks. I think the American version is 5 tracks. The original American version is 5 tracks. But I'm including mini albums on here. Well, this is the only mini album I think on my top 100. So Touch Me, I'm Sick, Chain That Door, Mud Ride, No One Has, If I Think, In and Out of Grace. Absolute genius, every single track of this. So there we go. Mudhoney, Super Fuzz Big Muff at number 88. Right, 87 is an album of absolute musical beauty. Now I waxed lyrical over the Zombies, Odyssey and Oracle for its Baroque pop, but there's one masterpiece of Baroque pop, and it's this one. So this is Forever Changes. This is another one of those albums which is beautiful musically, but then it hides a dark, skeptical, twisted almost lyrical interior. These are lyrics written by a man who is deeply unimpressed with the Summer of Love, and I do apologise for the beeping, that's my washing machine. Should have turned it off earlier. Anyway, this guy, written during the Summer of Love, this guy did not seem to trust it. Arthur Lee did not trust it at all. He was deeply sceptical of it all, and you can tell that in the lyrics. Deeply pessimistic. He just saw bad times are coming, but wrapped up in these absolutely gorgeous melodies and fantastic orchestration. Strangely, most of these songs don't have choruses. I don't know whether I noticed that before, but I've been playing this a lot recently, And I've really noticed that there is, despite being a really catchy record, the structure of the songs are not straightforward at all. Long, intricate verses, there's all kinds of stuff going on. Absolutely fabulous from start to finish. Some fantastic guitars, sort of psychedelic guitar solos. Just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, with some fantastic ballads. I mean, Alone Again All is such a beautiful song. But then you've got And More Again, things like The Red Telephone, Maybe the People Would Be the Time. You Set the Scene is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Bomber in the Summer. Brilliant stuff, absolutely love this to pieces. So there we go, number 80, I do believe 87 is Forever Changes, I love. So at number 86 is the most recent album so far in this countdown. I'm not sure if there's a few more that are slightly more recent. But this is a fantastic album. Absolutely adore this. So this is The Sound of Silver by LCD Sound System. This is a glorious, I mean, it's more, I suppose it could be called more record collection rock really, because it's a fantastic mix of European era Bowie. You've got Marauder in there. You've got kind of disco, house, indie, all mixed up. And these are fantastic. This is such a funky album. More sarcastic, self-deprecating lyrics. Absolutely. The way these songs build, they just build and build and build. Also, there's a lot of krautrock, a lot of repetition. Like, it's kind of it's like disco-fied krautrock. Does that make sense? I don't know. I just find it absolutely mesmerising to listen to. This is a fantastic, fantastic listen. One of the most affecting songs in the last 20 years is Someone Great. It's absolutely beautiful. I was listening to it last night and brought a tear to my eye. Really did. Things like North American Scum, which is self-deprecating but sarcastic at the same time, challenging people's ideas of stereotypes. It's also a very nostalgic album. I guess I first heard this at an age where I was questioning my place in this sort of music area. I was kind of like a little bit old to be clubbing and a little bit old to be just getting wasted all the time. Absolutely questioning, this questions that, it's like questioning that transition between young adult and maturity, if you get what I mean. It really does. Very nostalgic. Look, quite looking back to look forward kind of album lyrically. But the music is sublime, absolutely sublime. Yeah, danceable, so dancey, just wants to get your feet moving. So that's a great album, really is. If you haven't heard this one, give it a shot, because splendid stuff all round. Right, so there you go. There's my next batch of 5 albums in my top 100. Moving inexorably towards the number 1, which I'm sure you all know already what it is, because I'm that obvious. So, thanks everybody for tuning in, and I hope you all stay safe, keep your distance, and see you soon. Bye everyone. Bye.